To begin, we'll open up the VMware workstation and click on Create New Virtual Machine, then click Next. We'll use the following features: the 17.5.x workstation. Click Next 2 more times, and then right here we'll name the virtual machine. Make sure there's no spaces in the name. We'll click Next, change it to 1024 megabytes. Click Next a few more times until the final screen pops up. Here we'll add another NIC. We'll click on the LAN segments, choose LAN segment 1, and then click on OK. Then click on Finish. Next, we'll just wait for the VM to boot up. Please note that once it is booted up, you will need to use the keyboard to navigate within it. Now click Enter on the keyboard, accept Install, click the spacebar to allow for the config, and click Enter. To select Yes, you would have had to use the left arrow key to move to Yes and then click Enter. Right now we are waiting for the checksums to be verified. This can take a while. Now click Enter, and this will let the pfSense start up. From here, we will navigate back to the VMware workstation once this is done booting up. Okay, it's finally booted up. Now is when we will go to the VMware workstation, the beginning of it, and we will create the Linux Mint. We'll follow similar steps as before, using the same workstation, clicking Next. Here we will select the Linux Mint file. We will point the ISO and choose Linux, and then select the Debian 10.x 64-bit as the guest OS. Click Next. We will name the virtual machine again. Set the NIC to host only. Then click Next until the final screen pops up. Just as before, once on the final screen, we will have to click on Custom Hardware. We'll add another NIC. Using the same one, click on LAN segments, choose LAN segment 1, and click on OK. And now we'll click Finish. On the top left, you'll see there's a green triangle. We will click that to power the VM on, and then we will let it load. Once this is all powered up, we will continue on to a second video to go through the router configuration and the Apache configuration. 2 videos were necessary as the internet connection kept cutting off, and the second portion of this was finished once the internet was regained. Once this is all powered up, we will continue on to a second video to go through the router configuration and the Apache configuration. 2 videos were necessary as the internet connection kept cutting off, and the second portion of this was finished once the internet was regained. Welcome to the second video. Here we are in the pfSense VM that we created. We are prompted to enter an option, so we will type in 2 to prompt the set interface IP address. Following this, we'll have to provide the available interface. We'll want LAN, so type in 2 and enter. Answer no when asked to configure the IPv4 address. When prompted, type in your IP and put 172.16.2.1/24. We will then be asked to configure the IPv6 address. We will answer no to this. Right there, we'll answer no. And then we'll click enter again. We will want to enable the DHCP with the IPv4. The starting range inputted is 172.16.2.100. We will then be asked for the ending range, which is 172.16.2.105. We'll press enter when prompted to continue. And congrats, the router configurations are done. We will now do the Apache configuration. So we will open up the terminal. The first thing we will enter when opening the terminal is typing in the sudo apt update. This will update the software to make sure we have the latest software downloaded. It will prompt us a question. We will answer with a Y for yes. Next, we will type in the sudo apt get install Apache 2 to install Apache 2. Again, when prompted a question, we will type in Y for yes. Following this, Apache 2 should be installed and configured now. We'll click on the Mozilla Firefox, and in the URL box, we'll type in 127.0.0.1. If successful, we will notice the Apache 2 default page pops up as shown. Here we are just testing out another one to make sure we are still connected to the internet and get the pfSense.